Lil Baby about to bag himself decades or possibly a life in prison sentence? Did Lil Baby really have anything to do with the death of teenagers? Why does Lil Baby have his name mixed up with the death of two teenage boys in Atlanta?
Atlanta rapper Lil Baby denying involvement in the murder of two teens last year.
Between the bullets, it was nothing but bullets, pop, 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 pop.
Rapper Lil Baby is named in arrest warrants in the shooting deaths of 13-year-olds Lamont Freeman and Jacody Davis.
Or is this just another case of internet misinformation? Let's find out together. Lil Baby, born Dominique Armani Jones, is not a newcomer to the scene of crimes and police arrest. He's been arrested a couple of times in the past for drug and weapon-related cases. But this is the first time his name is coming up on a murder case. Just what did he do to find himself in this situation? And why is the Atlanta Police Department so sure Lil Baby's involved in this case? On February 26, 2025, Major Ralph Woolfolk from the APD announced the arrest of 7 men connected to a shooting incident in May of 2024 that claimed the lives of 2 teenage boys, Lamont Freeman and Jacody Davis. He also pointed a finger at Lil Baby and called him a coward for inciting the violence that claimed the boys' lives.
And cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been. And in the subsequent days, we saw homicides and shootings and ultimately the deaths of 2 children as a result of his cowardly actions. And you know who you are.
There's a lot of layers to this story that we need to uncover to get to the truth. First, what is Lil Baby's involvement with the rival gangs? Second, why was his presence at the location the genesis of the violence? Third, why did only those 2 boys die and 3 others were injured? Fourth, why is the APD blaming Lil Baby? To know Lil Baby's involvement with the rival gangs, we need to go back to his past. At the age of 15, Lil Baby dropped out of Booker T. Washington High School and began dealing drugs to support his family.
Lil Baby is one of the biggest rappers in the game, but he started out hustling in the streets as a drug dealer. Back in the day, Baby's pockets were already full of dope money.
This exposed him to the streets and brought him under the 411 of the cops. His connection with the music scene started from dealing drugs to the people at Quality Control Records. Before his career would take off, Lil Baby had been charged with possession of drugs twice, once in 2012 and another in 2013. In 2014, he was arrested and sent to prison 2 years for possessing marijuana with intent to sell. Once he was back out, it seems he focused on music, or not. In 2017, Lil Baby would release 4 mixtapes to launch his career and would gain some recognition in the music scene. In the same year, he would form his own record label and name it 4 Pockets Full. Take note of this name because it's going to come up again soon. As he gained more popularity, Lil Baby claimed he distanced himself from the drug dealing and street life. He claimed to focus on music and the music business alone. All would be calm until 2021. After attending the Paris Fashion Week in July 2021, Lil Baby, alongside basketball player James Harden, were approached by the French police for a drug charge. Jones was detained while Harden was released. He would pay a fine to settle this case, but his name would be in the news again a few years later.
The 2 have been in Paris together attending fashion. Rapper Lil Baby was detained in Paris on Thursday, July 8th for allegedly transporting drugs.
On August 26, 2024, Lil Baby was arrested in Las Vegas for possessing a sealed weapon. He got detained at Clark County Detention Center, but was released on a $5,000 bond. The weapon charge comes months after the shooting incident that led to the death of 2 teenagers. But what really went down during the video shoot? Why would the shooting of a music video lead to gang violence? According to the APD, Lil Baby shouldn't have been in that location at that time because the rival gangs already had tensions up. Ralph said Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang violence ultimately took his life. Gang violence that was orchestrated by adults, and the cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper, Lil Baby, that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been. In his defense, his legal team, consisting of Drew Feinling and Marissa Goldberg, have maintained that Jones is innocent and the accusations were ridiculous. The location for the music video, they claim, was chosen by a professional team, not an individual. What Ralph said implies that Jones knew of the tensions between the rival gangs and that his unwelcome presence in that particular location meant he is a member of one of the rival gangs. How true can this be? So far, he has denied having any connections with the gangs. The rival gangs that clashed are suspected to be the 4PF and the OMF. 4PF meaning 4 pockets full, and OMF meaning only my family. Remember the name of Lil Baby's record label? Yes, it's the same name, but Lil Baby maintains he has no connections with them. Still, it doesn't add up. Why would a gang want the death of 2 teenagers? According to the APD, the deaths were orchestrated from a phone call from a prison in Georgia. When tensions escalated during the video shoot and shots were fired, 3 men were injured, but they made full recoveries. However, the following days after the altercation were marked by more gang violence that eventually claimed the lives of the teenage boys. Lamont Freeman was celebrating his birthday when the gang showed up and took his life.
Davis and Freeman were sitting outside just after midnight, hours away from celebrating Freeman's birthday, when gunfire rang out.
The APD says a call was made by a high-ranking member of the gang opposing Lil Baby's. Why those 2 boys? For now, no one knows. It would interest you to know that some months before the shootout, another shooting incident occurred during a Lil Baby concert in Memphis. 1 man was injured and in critical condition. Although he claims to have left the gang life behind, violence seems to follow him everywhere.
1 person was critically hurt during a shooting at a concert in Memphis last night. Memphis police said the shooting happened at the FedEx Forum where Lil Baby and Glorilla were performing.
His legal team dismisses the APD's claims that Jones shouldn't have been at that location as disgraceful. They said, to say that he couldn't shoot a music video in his hometown, a place that he loves and has continued to uplift, is disgraceful. Meanwhile, the APD has sworn to hold Lil Baby and his associates responsible for the chaos. Ralph said, "You know who you are, and I'll tell you that this team will work relentlessly to hold you and the persons that you are affiliated with responsible for those actions." There's also a $50,000 reward for anyone who can bring useful information forward on the case. There's been no other updates since then, and Lil Baby seems to be moving on with preparations for his Wham tour later this year. What are your thoughts? Do you think Lil Baby has really left the gang lifestyle behind? Do you think he's guilty for showing up at that location knowing what could go down? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you'd like to know more about how Lil Baby somehow made $31 million in just 1 month, click this video on your screen. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more deep dives for the biggest power moves in the rap industry.